neck like chandelier. Another man, no, I can never fear. I'm in a different lane, watch me switch the gears. Yeah, Lamborghini truck out in Cali, right beside me a baddie. All 4 pockets so fatty, nigga don't add me. I got bitches on my body now, waiting in the lobby now. Pocket rocket on me just in case you wanna try me. And my niggas very dangerous, no you cannot hang with us. Ain't no new niggas around, it's only gang with us. Smart, don't you play with us, I promise we keep things with us. It was never ever about the money or the fame, just a lifestyle I thought I never had. I walk around with 100K inside this Louis lucky bag. Hit the bank every day and pull out racks. They be talking all that shit on Instagram, but it's cap. I could take your bitch, but I'ma give her back. I'ma hit it just like that. I won't talk about the facts. She hit me up for Birkin bags. I told her to relax. Girl, I'm not your man. This ain't that kind of flex. Hit up Eliante, put big gaddies on my neck. I like doing drugs and counting big checks. Catch a flight in the morning, land in LAX. Designer brands now, but I came from Nike Tech. If bro say it's up, then it's up. We gon' throw 50,000 inside the club. I love getting new money, fuck the love. Oxycontin to the face, it got me stuck. Started with $1, flipped it to a $1 million. I ain't signed no deal, I'm still in the hills. Designer junkie, I spend a lot of money for real. I know you proud of me still. Yeah, let's keep it clear. All these diamonds on my neck like chandelier. Another man, no, I can never fear. I'm in a different lane, watch me switch the gears. Yeah, Lamborghini truck out in Cali, right beside me a baddie. All 4 pockets so fatty, nigga don't add me. I got bitches on my body now, waiting in the lobby now. Pocket rocket on me just in case you wanna try me now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Swizz and Pesci mid-season special.
Yeah, boy.
Featuring Gordy. Pleasure to be here, boys.
Well, I figured he was going to give his own intro because he's kind of been bullying us since we've sat down.
Well,
so
I wasn't going to wait for you. It was taking a little too long.
It's just going to be his show today, guys.
It is. We're going to actually change the name pretty soon here. Half the people watching are only watching because they seen my name in the title. Let's be honest. But I'm really happy to be here. You know, I wish I could have been on sooner, but, you know, circumstances have prevented me, so...
You're here now, though. That's
all that really matters.
That's what's
hopefully
important.
Again in the future. You know, it depends on how I like it. We'll see.
Depending on how you like it.
You know, I got a lot of podcasts hitting me up on the daily, so, you know, I had to fit this into my schedule.
What does this guy do?
What don't I do?
No. Honestly, what the fuck does this guy do?
Just slow down.
To my knowledge, there is nobody who's ever hit him up about anything other than we need something. That's what he's told me. That's what I've heard. No one's
podcasts are hitting him up?
No, not at all. Absolutely not.
He said not after today.
So, if I'm being honest, I've never seen the show. So
Okay.
I don't really know what it's... No, I've been following the show since the first episode, and I think overall you guys have been doing great things. Happy with all the improvements that's being made. The best thing that you guys have done so far is bringing me on, so clearly you've been listening to my critiques.
Look at this guy.
Although I want to give a warning right now, I have not really been following super closely with sports. I have great takes, however, I haven't been paying too much attention. So
I haven't been paying too much attention, but I got great takes.
I got great takes. Like, for example, I've been saying from the jump, Russell Westbrook, trash, since he was on OKC. And right now, what is everybody saying? The Lakers are going to try to ship him off, but it will not happen. That contract is untradeable.
That's fair. I think it's going to happen. I think somebody's going to take the chance on him to dump some cap.
I think they might have taken the chance 5 years ago.
No.
But he's at the end of his career.
No. He plays too, like...
He's averaging just as many assists as he has turnovers.
He's shooting a better field goal percentage than Curry, and that's what everybody's big knock on him is. Facts.
We're talking about
factual. Check the receipts. Check the stats.
I'm not doubting you.
But no, I'm just saying. I think somebody's gonna. I've been saying it since before the season started that they were gonna ship his ass out of there. So.
I think the Wizards was the best place for him, and I don't think they ever should have gotten rid of him. That's just me, because they are a very uninteresting franchise, and he's a very interesting player.
That's fair.
There's a little bit of business that I think has to come first and foremost.
Okay.
That dates back from when we had our first episode when it was just audio.
Oh, God. I know exactly what he's talking about.
It's about that time.
This is brutal, guys.
Oh, no.
The Gravy Gamblers.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking. Okay.
The gravy gambler himself is in the building. And,
Look at that. Like, you hear that laugh? You hear that laugh?
everybody's
It's
been
evil.
asking.
I'm also asking. I'd like to know what it means.
It's okay. Here we go. This is really 3 seasons in the making. If you followed the show,
Facts.
you would know that the gravy gamblers has been mentioned week by week, and it all comes back to the gordologist himself. It's the study of gordology. His name's Gordy. His name's Conk. Gordo, Gordali, Gordastrophe.
You know what? That's a great point. Why don't you give us a little background on the conch part?
All right.
I think the people are dying to know.
All right. Well,
Phenomenal.
I will give
This is phenomenal content.
the background.
Please.
So there was a bucket in the garage. No.
All right. 5 minutes, I'm gone. I'm out. Applesauce. Talk to me. Alex Smith, we know you're watching.
So
Debatable.
Conk
Debatable.
Conk is a hairstyle back in the Malcolm X era.
Which is one.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But I will say that I read Malcolm X cover to cover and watched
fooled me.
the movie senior year in English. And they were talking about this hairstyle. And when you were in high school, I always said that your hairstyle looked like the conch from the movie.
Okay, was
The
it when I
Malcolm
was
X.
in high school, or was it one specific night? One time,
It honestly,
one party,
it honestly looked
one
like it
evening.
when you walked in before you got your haircut.
Stop playing.
I wish I could have seen that. I wish I could have seen that.
But-
Yeah. Maybe if you were on time, maybe.
I'm always like late though, so like I keep the consistency of being 5-10 minutes.
So at this
late.
point, what you're
But-
saying is
but-
that we should just push the show
No,
back.
no,
so
no,
that-
no. Because listen. I asked him while I was on the way here, "Do you want me to stop for water?" And he said yes. He said, "Go get some water." If I wouldn't have stopped for water, I would have been pulling up right at 7:00 when I said I was shooting to pull up for her.
Okay, so 100% that's all false. And I don't know if you're doing it just for the show
I
because
was
you told
try-
me on the phone, say less. I'm going to get there early. Then say less.
I told you when you called that I had a small detour.
Okay,
I
so
had
that's
to-
the truth.
Just so everybody knows, this bottle was made from 100% recycled plastic.
But I still would have made it here at 7.
We're still waiting from that core sponsorship. So please contact us at Swizz and Pesci whenever
Please.
you feel like you're going to stop making us do this for free, all this advertising. Because if so, we're going to go to Poland Spring. We got
That's
offers.
cap.
We
That's
have
cap.
offers.
That's
Come on, what,
fucking
Dasani?
cap.
Fiji?
Battery acid?
Clearly,
Sorry,
this guy has
what-
terrible
what-
taste in water. He's
He
got
said
no idea.
battery
what's happening.
acid?
He's got no
Essential water. Thank
Come
you.
on, come
Thank
on.
you.
I'm trying to get that Voss. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little too bougie. That's a little too bougie for me.
That Voss
I like
water.
the Essentia and the core waters.
I'm a tap guy.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a hose.
Brita.
I'm a hose from the side of
Worms. I'm a Brita guy.
I'm a Brita
I
filter.
have a Brita. I like my
Faithfully.
Brita. Absolutely.
How often? How
Never
often?
changed it one time.
Never changed the filter?
went out one
No. It's literally the same thing.
I kid you not. When I was living with Jaylene, we had the Brita filter, and on the top you hold the button and it tells you if it's
Oh,
you need to
you
be
just
changed.
the whole
reset
time.
it.
It was
It
red the whole
said
time.
green. Yo,
red the whole
it
time.
said green from the moment I bought it to the time I left the house.
Because you would
It
hold
was
the,
green,
you would
like
hold the
100%.
button. You would hold the button and reset it.
How do you reset it?
Okay, let me just explain something to you. As much as I'm sure you believe that there's some kind of advanced technology in your plastic water pitcher, it's a timer. Okay, so when you put a new filter in
Violation.
3 months, it's going to change colors. And if you just hold that button, depending on what kind of a filter you have, it's going to go back to being green. So maybe they walked in and she's seen that it was red and went 1, 2, 3, boom. Now it's going to be green for 3 more
1,
months.
2, 3,
It's a timer.
So I apologize. I'm not a gordologist. I apologize. I'm not fluent in the study of gordology.
Gordy
okay?
101.
So I'm sorry. I'll try to study up on that.
I mean, you just got to read, anything on the packaging.
I do want to say, well, it's the study of Gordo. I do want to say, I'm very happy that you're not only on the show, but for the people that don't know, you are officially out of the Army. You are here
Yes,
back.
sir.
Was I ever officially in your Some people would debate that.
I do have a little surprise for you that you don't know about. I'm going to go get the surprise real quick.
There's
Give
nothing
me
that
one
I
moment,
hate
please.
more than surprises.
So, real quick before he comes back with his surprise, how has it been since you got home? You've only been home for about a month now, a little less than. How's it been since you got home? Have you gotten in any routines?
I would say that initially it was a very big change. However, I would say the biggest thing for me was mentally I was holding on to that part. And, like, I wasn't really allowing myself so much.
Why would you ask him a deep-ass question when you know I got a surprise coming? Why would now be the
A trash can! Wow!
I wasn't trying to get, like, too deep like that. I
Thanks,
just asked him if
man.
he gotten any routines. What's it been
it's,
like?
It's getting better. I still got a long way to go, but it's getting better every day.
Good.
Routines is I go to sleep and I wake up every morning, and that right now is
The only
the real thing that I got control of, and I'm fine with that.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about it a little bit more because he's gonna want to double back to that.
Is something going to come out of this?
Listen,
what are you going on your phone
I want to
for?
double back it at the end of the show. We're going to
Is there gonna be a
get
bucket
all
in
into
here?
that. There's a lot we want to know about you and your experience, but this surprise, it's the mid-season special,
I don't know about this, guys. I don't know about this either.
and
There's going to be a piece of paper that says your takes.
here's what I want to say. You are very generous. You've been very generous since you entered the Army with not only me, but our entire family. And you gave Christmas gifts to everyone. Your lovely girlfriend went and got them because you obviously are out of town at the moment. So she went and shopped for you. She did a phenomenal job. This hoodie she got me, and I love it. It's fantastic.
She's amazing.
And I want to say that I gave Uncle Ray and Angelina the gifts that you got them. And inside the bag, there was a Buffalo Bills mug, which he loved. And Angelina had a mug. I don't know what it said on it, but she loved it. She posted it on her Facebook story. Fantastic. There was also, though, a third item in the bag. Are you aware of what that third item was? Because I have it with me.
Fuck.
And Uncle Ray gave a special request for the show for what to do with this item. Shout out to Razor, my godfather.
Oh, no.
So this is why we brought the garbage can. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother got a New England Patriots mug. A New England Patriots mug. And tried to give this in my uncle's house. He told me I had two options. He said either walk in the street and smash it in the middle of the street or go on the show and trash it. So I want to do him a favor.
Absolutely.
He appreciates the gifts, but it's about that time. It's got to go. And I think that's a ballsy move on your part because not only did you send him this, you also sent him a dick and balls on a brim of a hat.
Zero recollection of that happening.
Zero recollection of that.
I need to see the receipts or else I can't really.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll try to get a hold of
Speaking of validity
the
of that
dick hat
statement.
that my brother purchased. We'll get Uncle Razor.
We don't need to get him on the horn.
So,
We should get Uncle Razor on the fucking
Let's
horn.
not get him on the horn.
so now that the surprise is out of the way, I'd like to jump into our first topic,
Okay.
if that's okay with you, Gordologist.
That would be fine with me.
Okay.
Don't fucking ask him. This is our fucking.
It's
He's
not
my
fine with
big
me
brother.
anymore.
He's my big brother. I have-
Yeah. Why don't you know what? Since we did that, why don't
What?
we stand up.
What? Why am I standing up?
Just stand up.
All right, we're standing up.
Okay.
It's dangerous, guys.
How much older are you than me?
About a year and a half. About a year and a half.
What occurred in that year and a half? This is where we're at now.
Depression, misery, loneliness.
Gravity has not been
Homelessness.
kind to you.
He said homeless.
No money, no job, no vehicle. A lot's happened.
I just want the record to show that I will
lot's
be
happened
taking
since
that
you've
mug
been
out
gone.
of the trash after the show.
He said I paid fucking $20 for that.
So, it's been about 2 to 3 years now that it's been in the process of the name change between the Washington Redskins to the interim name of the Washington football team, and they
Fire
have
name, by
finally
the way.
they have finally agreed to go with the Washington Commanders. I want to get your first, and then Joey, you can comment after. What's your reaction, and how do you feel about the new name?
Well, so the way that I look at it as commander, in my experience in the military, it usually represents whoever's in charge of a specific group. So when I was attached to the infantry company, our commander was a captain, right? But that was just of the company. So there's also a battalion commander and a brigade commander.
There's a lot of language I'm not familiar with here.
Well,
if you want to be a little bit more general,
like commanders, I'm not huge on it. The only thing I could think of is the commander in chief, which is the president. But once again, it's just commanders.
that's where my head went.
Commanders in a team sense doesn't make any sense. The commander is the highest person in charge of a group of people. So the commanders would be a group of people in charge of other groups of people. So I just feel like there's so many better names. Not that I could think of any nice, but so for them to and then, once again, what is your new mascot? What is the mascot? Just a guy in a suit and a uniform? What? And then,
Bingo.
There's different commanders in the different branches. I mean, is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it going to be command? I
think because you were in the Army, you're digging a little too deep.
Well, here's the thing. If you're not, okay, so what does it mean to you, Joey? Without what I just said, what would you even be able to pull out from that?
Without what you said?
Yeah.
Honestly,
with no context.
Nothing at all.
So
only because
90% of the people.
I could understand commanders being like a higher rank in the military, but I would have no idea what it actually
Are they
means.
commanding the flow of the game? Are they commanding the field?
It's just the name.
Okay.
It's. Right. I mean, I think you're dragging it. It's just the name.
Your answer was very logical.
Okay. If it was just
very,
okay.
It was very.
If it was just a name, why did it take 2 years?
When you are going to rename your franchise, there's a lot of things that go into it, and
they didn't want to do. I just want that to be known.
So wouldn't the question be, why do we keep changing?
Well, because it was racially offensive. The Redskins and the Cleveland Indians, right? They had to change their names too, right? So it's just now this is.
What did they change it to? Are they the Cleveland baseball team?
No, they have already. They're not. No, they did already decide on the name.
And not for nothing, Lancaster used to be the Indians as well. When I was my sophomore year, they were, and then the PTO at Lancaster or whatever got this whole big thing put together, and they had to change it from the Indians to the Legends, so they were the Lancaster.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that it's not the Redskins anymore.
Yeah.
Don't mistake me on that.
But our history is from the Redskins. I mean, how crazy it is. You think it's crazy. Isn't it funny how they pick and choose what they want to change that's racial and what's not racial?
I feel as if, though, the
cancel culture.
My biggest worry that comes from it is that by removing these things, we are essentially, because you got to think, we knew the Redskins, but the next generation, they will have never had the Redskins. The generation after them will never know that it ever existed. So what's to say that in the future somebody doesn't rename a team that, and now we've completely eliminated all of the racial history behind it? Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's not that we should be celebrating these things, but there has to be some kind of an example for us so that we could avoid that in the future. You know what I'm saying? We can't just completely erase this history because it happened. So by erasing it, we are now convincing ourselves that we are too good to let that happen again. Do you see what I'm saying? Not that it's a good thing, but it is an example that at one point in time, this was something that we thought was acceptable. And we have grown past that, but without that reminder to see how bad we can get, how can we really prevent ourselves from getting that bad again in other departments, in other ways? Do you see what I'm saying?
Gordology, it's a... Jesus. Holy God. Yo,
it's gospel is what it is. It's gospel. He is my younger brother, so there is a hint of God.
It's what it is.
I looked at the logo.
Thank you, darling.
And I don't know. I like the animals. I think the animals are cool. Easy mascots. I think it would have been cooler.
What they were going with the Commanders. And did you hear their slogan? Like their like little tune?
No.
They literally stole Farmer's exact jingle. It's "We are the Commanders." Bum ba bum bum. Like literally, I'm not. We are the Commanders. Bum ba bum 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 bum. That's literally what it is.
I really wish you didn't sing it. I think my life might have been better.
Shut the fuck up. It's the "We Are Farmers" like insurance company joint. Like it's literally the same exact slogan.
Their logo could be an insurance company's logo. If I'm being perfectly honest with you. And that's another thing where on the logo it has since 1932 or something like that.
Uncle Ray then. Yeah.
I agree. The new mascot, what is it going to be? George Washington?
Thanks, Angie.
Okay, I have an update. I just confirmed. It's the Cleveland Guardians. That's the new name of the
Guardians?
Cleveland
See,
Indians
that's
baseball
better.
team.
Better
I like
than
that a
the
lot
Commanders.
better. I like that a lot better.
I like the Guardians as well. Although I will say I don't have a problem with Commanders. I really don't.
Yeah, you don't?
I don't think it's that cheesy. I think it'll mesh. Obviously, we're all used to Redskins, so it's going to take time to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
It's so hard to adjust because
What about Warriors though?
what?
What if they change it to the Warriors?
The Washington Warriors?
Yeah.
it sounds better than Commanders.
Here's the thing, right? So the Redskins was offensive to Native people, right?
But they
The
were
indigenous
warriors.
people, right? They have a rich history of all of these very powerful and highly respected warriors, and a lot of the people that, I'm not super educated, so if I make any mistakes, I'm sorry. But, they were known for their ferocity, and they took pride in that. So rather than, just completely erasing it, we could have taken a spin
This kid.
and used it to honor,
Well,
to make up for the years.
Gordy,
and
look
years
at
and
the
years of this
Chiefs.
offensive name. Well, actually, apparently the Chiefs are under fire. I don't know if you guys heard.
Are
about
they
that.
actually?
They are under fire.
I didn't know that.
So the
That's
same
news to
people that
me.
are praising the Washington the Commanders for changing are now turning their eyes on the Chiefs and saying that the Chiefs need to be better.
Donald said it got to be the Washington Walrus.
Donald who?
Donald Nataro
Oh, Donnie Sav.
Donnie
Sav.
Sav.
He said the Walruses?
should be the Washington Walrus.
All right, Donnie, all I'm saying is make the phone call. You have my blessing on the Walruses. When I used to play Pokemon,
What about
Walreen
the
was my guy.
narwhals?
I mean,
What about the
Narwhals.
narwhals at that point?
Yo, stop fucking playing.
Why don't we get something with one tusk coming out of its head? Huh?
Donnie,
Unicorns of the
don't-
sea is what they say.
Don't go with the Walruses. Don't make the call.
make the phone call.
Don't make the
Make
call.
the
Listen,
phone
don't
call.
make the phone
And
call.
while
how
you're
about
at
this,
it,
right? What if Washington? That's just their new shtick, right? Every 2 years they just change their name, they change their branding, right? It's
You know
going
how
to
much
create a
Yo, to be
money
honest-
they
better
would
market.
lose, though?
To keep
You know
it
how
a
much
buck,
money they would lose?
I rocked with the WFT logo after a minute.
Shut the
I like the
I rocked with the WFT.
Yo, stop.
That WFT was fire.
with it.
The
What?
W.
He said the W.
I rocks with it.
No, stop.
So while we're on the topic of
Do
football,
so much better.
I have a good segment that I want you two to do. AJ, you as well, if you're okay with that. So I want to compare the Super Bowls this weekend. It's on Sunday.
Okay.
It's the Los Angeles Rams at home. This is the second year in a row, and it's obviously a rarity that a team in the Super Bowl plays in their home stadium. This is the second year in a row, so it's very rare this is happening. And it's also the first time that a first-round draft pick quarterback, the first overall pick, is going against another first overall pick, and they're 13 years apart or something like
Yeah.
that. So there's going to be a lot of history surrounding this game. I want to go and break down which team has the advantage in the following categories I'm going to give you, and I'll let you guys comment on it, okay? AJ, we're going to start with you, if you don't
Fierce.
mind. We're going to start with coaching.
Oh,
Which team do you
easy.
think has the advantage in the coaching category between the Rams and Bengals? Rams. You're saying that's a lock. 100% Rams. Okay.
Rams.
Giuseppe?
It's not even close. The Bengals haven't made it to the playoffs in the last 20 years, let alone won a playoff game. Sean McVay coached in a Super Bowl against Tom Brady, 3 years ago?
Long time ago.
Don't matter. It's still experience. Sean McVay's a fucking good-ass coach.
And how old is he? I mean, he's
36. And what's his name's 33? They're the two youngest head coaches to
Oh, that's an
face off in the
accomplishment.
Super Bowl.
That is true.
Mhm.
His homework.
Come on, I came prepared today. I had the notes. I had the shit ready. Stop.
Where's my
playing with me.
notebook, huh?
Okay, I agree with the three of you that it is the Rams, although I do want to give compliments to the Bengals coaching staff.
What's his name?
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. The defensive coordinator and the head coach,
What are their names?
Zach Taylor,
Who's that?
the head coach.
Who's the defensive coordinator?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, so you're giving him.
I can tell you.
He's not
I
that.
can tell you.
Not that many
I
problems.
can tell you.
We don't care
I
that
couldn't
much.
tell you.
Give him credit. Give him.
We don't care that
But,
much.
But credit
in all
is due.
seriousness,
It's due.
although I don't know who the
Apologize.
defensive coordinator is,
Facts.
Taylor,
Here
because
comes Zach.
obviously they were underdogs in their last two playoff games against Tennessee in Tennessee and against Kansas City in Kansas City. But more so than them coming out with the win, I was impressed on how the defense adjusted in the second, from the first half to the second half of the Chiefs game. I mean, Mahomes, we already know about Mahomes. We're not going to sit here and gravy over Mahomes.
He
We
is
know how great he
fantastic.
is. He's fantastic. He absolutely is.
Talk about how great he is.
But
Bro, the laugh though. The laugh gets me every time.
not only in the second half, but when it went into overtime,
Dog shit.
their defense played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
And that a lot of it comes to the coaching staff because they did make adjustments. They gave Mahomes as much time as he wanted and put so many guys in the secondary that there was just nothing getting open. And that's what forced some mistakes and that interception in OT. You know, it was a good pass. It was a great defensive play, though. Good pass, great defensive play. But let's go to the next category. We'll start with you this time, Gordy. Who do you think has the advantage on the defensive side of the ball, the Bengals or the Rams?
I'm going to have to say the Rams.
Any comments on why you made that decision?
I know more players on the defensive side of the ball for the Rams than I do the Bengals.
That's a very solid answer.
I mean, they got big names. I mean, here's my thing. This is what I look at it, right? They spent so much money. They've invested so much into their players and building their team up so well. And it has shown. You know what I'm saying? Once again, I'm not a Bengals fan, nor have I watched them play. So
This is what Gordy
I can't
do.
Really, I
Gordy's
can't
like this.
Really solid.
We're talking, just for the record, just so you know, I'm not, I'm
Well,
not a Bengals
The one
fan.
thing that I've
did like
noticed, this
three
is
times,
the one
bro.
thing that I've really noticed from watching the show, because I am an average
You
viewer.
don't watch the show.
I mean, you can check the receipts. As an average viewer, I just don't feel like you're really making them feel, the audience feel like they're here. You know what I'm saying? And now that I finally get to be here, I want you guys to know that you can be here one day too. I really couldn't tell you. You're gonna ask me about the
For,
offer
for a small fee of $49.99.
for 7 payments of $49.99 plus shipping and handling and processing.
She was only $364. Joey.
Rams, they have Aaron Donald. Besides Aaron Donald, their defense is stacked in every position they have. Like I feel like they have a big name.
That's my thing.
Jalen Ramsey, Jamar Chase is about to be crazy, and the Bengals' offensive line is absolutely dog shit. So if Aaron Donald doesn't have 4 sacks, Vaughn will have 2.
Okay.
So Rams
That's solid
by
reasoning.
far.
AJ, what about you? Defensive side of the ball, who has the advantage? Rams. What's your reasoning?
Does he need any?
Does he really? I mean, does he really need
He laid
any?
it all out there.
Look at the veterans that are on this defensive side of the ball.
They got
Exactly
a lot
what I
of
was
firemen. Eric
That's
Weddle.
that's not anything to bat your eye at, bro. Like that's. Weddle's
So you're
fucking-
saying it's because the veterans on the defense are going to manage the game.
Aaron Donald starting there. I mean,
legend.
definitely a legend. Automatically. I mean, we already know that if the Rams win the defensive, MVP is going to come from a defensive player. They're saying that already.
You think so?
Yeah, they're saying that. He's going to be a
Think
bomb.
Cup's not going for 200?
Cup definitely going to score 2+ touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you my parlay because the fools on here steal my parlay. It's the only way. But, I think their defense is too experienced, man. But I also believe that Joe Burrow has showed us that he can get sacked 11 times, 9 to 11 times, and still win a game.
And he cannot rush the ball. So if they get into that backfield, he's not going anywhere.
Okay, so then, so far we got clean sweep for the Rams. Now this is where it gets a little interesting.
Facto.
Who do you have? Who did you say?
for defense, I'm also on the Rams.
So why are you making it?
Now, Joey, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
This is very specific. Excluding. So not.
I hate to get
Yeah.
I gotta get a comment.
Absolutely.
Kendrick.
Oh, Kendrick. How you doing, Kendrick? We
My
miss you.
guy.
We miss you here.
Lamar.
In football, you have to watch out for the Bengals. Eric Solo, Dolo Leonard. Eric Solo, Dolo Leonard.
Kendrick, you need to be in studio, okay? Because we need we need you to we need you to get a little bit deeper into that.
Yeah, go deeper.
So we're gonna get back to Kendrick. That being said, excluding,
Get some
not
baby powder
including
from my hands.
the quarterbacks, which team has the advantage on the offensive side in terms of playmakers, offensive line? Not including the quarterback. Take the quarterback out of consideration. Giuseppe, talk to me.
We are considering the offensive line.
Yes.
Then the Rams. He's got him on the phone.
Kendrick, your boy.
He
Typo.
says
It's a typo. All right, so
We're sitting here trying to make light of
my boy Kendrick.
Kendrick, most important thing, are you saying you don't got the Rams? 'Cause you got the Rams.
I heard
just
Kendrick
hang-
say he's got 1,000 on
hang it
Bengals money
up.
line.
He said, okay. He said, you're right. All right, but
What did he say? So who?
it's a typo.
Okay, so
But if you're a fan of football, you should be wanting to watch the Bengals.
okay,
I'm still trying to figure out who Derek Solo is.
that's what I'm saying.
Who is Derek Leonard?
It was
Derek
Adam on
Leonard.
the phone.
Derek Solo.
Derrick Henry?
So okay, so Joey, you said to double back to the question. You're saying the Rams.
Yes.
Can I get an explanation on why?
I could have made a very solid argument for the Bengals if we said excluding offensive line as well. But the Rams have a very good offensive line. So I think
Whitworth.
playmaker wise, Joe Mixon, T. Higgins, Chase, fucking Boyd. You know, like the Bengals definitely have a high powered offense, but their offensive line is dog shit. He got sacked, like you said, 9 times in their last game. So if you were including offensive line, then definitely the Rams. But dude, Bengals offense, if they can keep that shit together for a minute, bro, that's going to be like dynasty offense. Like Joe Burrow's about to do something.
Okay, so on
crazy
that
in
though, so are you
Cincinnati.
saying you think it's going to be a shootout?
Absolutely.
I believe it's going to be a shootout.
Absolutely, because I think Joe Burrow can score on that defense, and I think Matt Stafford's going to torch Cincinnati's defense. Absolutely torch their defense. And Cam Akers is going to have a big day, too.
Well, let's hold off on Matt Stafford. AJ.
You got one question. Did you say Cam Akers? I got Cam Akers scoring the first touchdown.
I think that's fair.
Who's saying that's fair?
Sports guy, so I need to know.
Okay, but he's saying that's fair, even though me and him have lost money on Akers like the last 3 weeks. So
But it's Super Bowl, baby, and they haven't played.
Super Bowl, baby.
They haven't played this not for nothing crappy of a defense at all.
But you think
Like,
Cam Akers is willing to
who
disappoint
they
Snoop
played?
Dogg,
They played
Eminem?
they played the Bucks, right?
did you see what the Bengals did to the Chiefs in the second half?
I'm not saying that their defense isn't underrated. Their defense have been playing phenomenal. When you ask me later who's gonna win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna tell you it's gonna come down to the defenses. If the Bengals defense can hold up, bro, they might pull that shit out.
Jose says, I'm torn because I want the Bengals to win because of Burrow and Chase, but I want the Rams to win as well because of Stafford and OBJ.
Stafford needs his ring. I've been saying it. I told you last week. He needs his ring. Joe Burrow's going to make probably at least one more Super Bowl.
So just for the receipts, Jose. Is Jose Casillas? Jose, so just for the receipts, you're telling me that you're an Odell fan. That's what I'm hearing? Because I'm with you on Matt Stafford.
They said I want the Rams to win because
Yeah.
of Stafford and OBJ. So in other words, they deserve a ring for their pain and suffering of the league and everything they went through, I guess.
Okay, but let's be real. I know it was a long time ago. No, I agree
Absolutely.
with Matt Stafford, but OBJ, do we remember what he did when he went to the playoffs with the Giants?
We're talking about that.
Or what he
What
didn't
I'm
do.
saying is, like, Matt Stafford's put his time in. What has OBJ really done? Let's be real. What has OBJ Really done.
I think it's more that they wrote him off in Cleveland, and now he's having a resurgence. Like that, I think that's more or less what it is. It's not that he hasn't done anything. It's not like he's Matt Stafford and he's been in the league for fucking 15 years.
He
and
hasn't
never
really
made
been given the
fucking
opportunity to prove himself.
playoffs. He went to the playoffs one time with the Giants on Eli's way out. You know what I mean? Baker took him to the playoffs once. Did he play in the playoffs? Did Baker throw him the ball at all in the playoffs? Did that 1 year that they made it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not. Oh yeah, don't get him started on Baker. Big bro, shout out, big bro.
God.
Facts.
Come on, boy, Russ over here. He's like, forget anything else. I'm throwing money on it.
Facts.
Solo dolo.
Who's Solo Dolo?
Somebody he tagged in.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Derek Solo Dolo.
Oh, okay.
Shout out.
All right, so the Bengals defense is very underrated. They'll show up. You guys forgot Matthew Stafford is not mobile. I see at least 5 to 6 sacks in the Bengals defense.
But who do they got on that
but
front,
Joe
though?
Burrow is also extremely immobile. Extremely immobile.
He might be a little more mobile
Did
than
you
Matt
not just-
Stafford's old
Hold on.
ass.
He can move quicker than Matthew Stafford.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
come on, that guy's like 31 or something. 34.
AJ said, listen, he
Okay,
said,
he's
I'm
not
that
old.
age. He said,
If he's not old, if he wasn't getting, he's not old if he was getting not getting cracked by grown men every 16 games out of the year.
Can we talk about the first bucket of the game, that fadeaway jumper I hit on you?
Don't get me started. I put up
on.
6.
He said I put up
6.
I was on the floor after. I looked like James Harden. Because I'm his physical trainer. I'm about to have AJ ripped.
Listen, he's definitely working, and I got him working.
You look like James Harden when he first came to the Nets, maybe.
Gospel.
Can we talk about the zebra pants? What is going on?
Zubas. These are the
there?
Zubas. What are you talking about? Buffalo Bills
Zebra
Zubas.
print.
Wait, are those the same pants
That didn't fit Uncle Ray, so he gave them back to me because I lost the receipt. Yes, they
Yo,
are.
wait. They didn't fit Uncle Ray? Were they too big or too small?
Too small.
And I told this motherfucker to go up a size. What size are they?
Large.
Motherfucker.
Uncle Ray said large when we called him, though. I was going off what he said.
But I told
what
you,
he said. What he said.
that
What?
they were unisex pants, and you should go up a size anyways.
Can you
because
describe?
they're not-
Can you explain to us what unisex means?
This is also the same guy who told me that they needed to get a fitting room for condoms. So I'm obviously going
Does
to
it
be
have
hesitant
anything
at
to
taking
do
advice from him.
with
Okay?
unicycles?
Obviously, I'm a little hesitant.
Unicyclist.
We've talked about it. We've talked about it on camera. Go check the receipts. We've talked about it on camera.
I actually did watch that episode, and the point that I brought up
Go
was
watch
the
the
point that I brought
episode.
up was is if you had that,
Whose episode was that? Was that Dom's
'Cause you
first
said-
episode? I
'cause
think
you
that was
said
no. Wait,
if
no,
they
Dom's
had
first
one
episode.
on the
We
outside,
got these fitted
for you to try
especially
out.
for Joey.
Why would you ever buy them?
We took his idea and we ran with it, folks.
In the aisle. They're free.
It doesn't make sense. That's
free.
the point of it.
That's what I'm
That's the
saying.
point of it. It doesn't fucking make sense.
I'm sure you're not the first. I'm sure there was a guy in a suit up on the 60th floor
No,
in a
you
board
have to.
meeting
No, you have to
pitching
take
that.
it for what it is. He wanted to make an educated purchase. That's all it is.
Can we just
It's an educated.
scoop. This is just absolutely vile. Just nauseating. Not far enough.
Nauseating, not far enough. No, but what it really comes down to is I tried to tell Joey in the store, unisex could mean many things. We don't know the sizing.
What does
I
what does
asked
it
the
mean?
gentleman,
What are the
and
many
he
things?
said a
It
large
mean-
would be fine.
It means
He said
you
a large
could
would be allowed.
Either gender
Unicycle.
could wear it.
No.
And you said unicycle, is that correct?
I did. Multiple times.
Okay. Back to what we were talking about before all of this nonsense buffoonery.
Comments here. I don't
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's but we have
Game's
to
gonna
ask
win by
you the same
60.
question. Excluding the quarterback, which offense would you take? Meaning the running back, receivers, offensive line, not including the the Bengals. So we have a switch, folks. We have some
Wow.
controversy.
No, I would take their off. I like Joe Mixon.
That dog shit offensive line though. That's the only thing that's not selling me. Because
The wet
they
tissue
got
paper.
they got Akers, Cup,
But you got to remember.
OB.
We also got to remember we've seen plenty of teams who have dog shit lines and they still win games.
I'm not saying you're not wrong, but I'm just. But he asked who the better offense is.
Why I say Bengals offense, I feel like This is a city who has not won a Super Bowl. They're hungry. They haven't been since '88. I mean, like, the Rams been in the past 5 years.
So,
Right?
True.
Am I right?
Just like
Gospel.
3 years ago. Yeah.
Where I'm at with it is you got to look at the hunger of those guys. Now, I know the Rams are hungry as hell. The two people that you know hungry right now is Cup and OBJ. They never tasted it before.
Von Miller.
Von Miller tasted the Super Bowl.
True.
But you got,
True.
you got rookies who's getting ready to make like a hell of an impact.
trying to get paid.
You know what's going to be in the headline? Rookie receiver, Joe Burrow's second year. Rookie
First full season.
You understand what I'm saying? The headlines for this is going to be crazy because Chase already broke Randy Moss record.
So what he's saying is the NFL's fixed.
No.
Might be the case.
Listen,
Vegas controls
Vegas got
everything.
teams now playing
Wake up.
in the stadiums where they at. I've never seen this before.
Wake up.
All my years, you started
Vegas
down there,
runs it
Here,
all.
how about this? How about I expected the Cowboys Bills Super Bowl because he had me convinced off the
Yeah,
history.
me sold.
repeats
I
and
was
stuff.
telling everybody else about it. Yo, shout out
Yeah.
Robbie Rax because I had Robbie sold on it too.
I was
We
gonna
were
say if
sitting in his-
the
we were sitting in his living
Bengals
room
and the
high as
Rams
fuck,
are
he was
hungry,
like-
the Bills are starving to death. They're malnourished. They're dying out there.
All right.
Comment, so now we know who he is.
All right, good.
I feel both offenses are even. They have elite talents on both sides of the ball. That is true.
I agree. I
Well, then
I don't know
wanna
if I
bring up
agree
Joey's
100%
point.
on
What about
that.
the line, though?
but I do want to see now which quarterback would you take? Because that's our next topic. I do want to hear what you have to say though in terms of the offenses, excluding the quarterbacks. Because we're gonna get in the quarterbacks after. I just want to see what Derek Solo Dolo want to say about the quarterbacks.
Once again, I haven't really seen a lot of the Bengals playing, but I will say that I was not impressed with Cam Akers. Not
Because
a
he
huge,
didn't win us our bet. That's
not a huge.
That's all it was.
That's what it
That's
was.
all it
I
was.
tell you, we're losing money on Cam Akers.
Also, Cooper Kupp. I'm not saying that he's not great. However, I believe, in my personal opinion, Matthew Stafford is a significantly better quarterback than Jared Goff was.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that statement though.
So, is Cooper Kupp really that great? Like, if he were playing on another team with a different quarterback, like when he had Jared Goff, he did not put up these numbers.
Okay, time out. Just we'll get right back to that because I have something to say about that. AJ.
Derek Solo, winner.
Yep.
The difference
The
is
third.
going to be which team, this team's supposed to be, which team defense can make key stops.
We're talking about the offense right now.
But what about the quarterback? He don't want to put it. He don't want no receipts. Derek, come on. Derek, we need the receipts. I need to. You need to tell me which quarterback you're taking. Gordy. Here's the problem with that, because that's not true. With Goff, Kupp was still putting up really good numbers. Mind you, that was while he was sharing the load with Woods. There wasn't a clear number one. There really wasn't. It was Woods and Kupp were like two number one receivers in that system.
What year was this?
2 years? What do you mean?
2 years ago.
When Goff was there.
I was
Yeah,
busy.
2 years ago.
First half of that year, I was.
Okay.
That's a true statement, though.
Which one?
He was putting up numbers.
No, he was. I'm saying he's. If you look at it, he's more big now because he's leading the league. You know what I mean? But he still was putting up good numbers. No, like he has a
Gets-
point that
'cause he fucking gets
obviously
open.
Kupp's going to have better numbers with Stafford, but I don't want to dismiss him before Stafford and make it seem like Stafford's
listen,
the reason he's putting up those
I'm
numbers.
not saying in any way, shape,
with
or
Goff,
form
he
that
was
he
putting
is
up good
bad
numbers as
or
well.
that he wasn't good before. But I like.
Shout out Robbie Woods, former Buffalo Bill, my guy.
You just had to let it be known. We all know he was a former Buffalo Bill.
I have to.
Whoa, whoa.
You can't speak. You gave your uncle a Patriots company. He's a diehard Bill fan.
Thank you.
That is gospel. That is
Ballsy
gospel.
is an understatement.
Derek Solo says, I trust Burrow a little more than I trust.
Wow. You know what? Now
That's
that we have
fair.
that receipt, Derek, thank you for putting yourself on the line because if this is a 34-zip game, you ain't going to hear the end
Okay,
of it.
so that's a good point though. If the Bengals lose and,
Yes.
and they don't score very much, are we just going to completely dismiss Joe Burrow altogether?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't. What he did in the playoffs this year and the regular season, because again, when you're talking about legacies and quarterbacks, you're talking about the playoffs. You're not talking about just regular season, because if that were the case, there'd be a lot of quarterbacks above Joe Burrow.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. This
If there's ever a time I could beat the shit out of you, it's
I'm not gonna lie to
right
you.
now.
If you're a stat man, which I like to look at the more advanced stats.
Per 36.
Not the like all this Aaron Rodgers hatred and dismissing is based on literally nothing besides the playoffs. So once again,
What did he just say?
Let him preach. Let him preach.
So-
let him preach.
Sure.
Let him preach. Let him preach.
there is
He's 11-10 in playoff games. 11 wins, 10 losses.
Okay. How many guys
Had
play in
21
a football
times.
game?
I couldn't tell you that number. I don't know how many actually play, but I can tell you 53 suit up.
Okay, so there's 53 guys that are suiting up. Why are we blaming it all on him?
Who's doing that?
You're saying You're saying that he loses in the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Can he control winning the game 100%?
No.
Okay, so then if you looked at his
Is
stats,
anything 100%
if you
in
look at his
sports?
stats, but if you look at his stats, does he not have better stats than most quarterbacks? If we're
In
talking
the
about
regular
touchdown,
season or in the
interception,
playoffs?
Touchdown, interception.
Are we talking about regular season or are we talking about the playoffs?
Talking about all of that combined.
See, that doesn't matter. I don't care how many divisions you win. I don't care how many conferences you win.
Can't win when it matters.
What does it matter then? What are you playing for? If you're playing to get
If
fans
you
in there
look
for
at,
the regular season,
like,
then
for
God
example,
bless
all
him.
of Tom Brady's Super Bowls, he had a top 10 defense.
But can we stop right there? I want to check some receipts. Because I could have sworn last week we were about stats all day.
I am.
Whatever is convenient for him.
You talking about me?
Whatever is convenient.
I am the stats.
Whatever is
ass.
convenient.
Bum ass.
Although, speaking of Singletary, he does make the first man miss.
Yo, shut the fuck up.
That is
You
true.
heard it here first,
That's
folks.
true.
The first guest who has my back on
That's true.
Singletary.
If you actually
You
have
were
ever watched
watching-
him play,
Yo.
watch him play. Watch him play.
Yo, the last
Watch
time
him.
we watched the Bills game,
Watch him.
every time the first man missed, Dom goes, "Yo, you see that guy? That first guy? Yeah, he fucking missed. Yeah, he
You're right.
missed."
But when
Every
he's
time.
got two guys in the backfield, he doesn't have any space to maneuver. I mean, what
Because
do you
our
want to do?
offensive line has
Can we
been
stop
struggling
talking about
with the
this
run
man?
And all
block.
these design
Can we
runs for Josh
stop?
Allen. I love Josh
Right,
Allen.
So the key is to not crack under that pressure. So that's why he's saying what he's saying about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, once again, like, you guys are also making it seem like
Fuck you.
for both situations, other players are good too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you want him to make every single guy miss. This is not Madden. We're not playing an arcade. He can't make every single guy miss. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers couldn't have played better in the playoffs. I'm not saying that he has no blame in it. But when he's playing from behind the whole time and his defense can't stop him from scoring, what do you really expect him to do?
Can I end this whole conversation about Aaron Rodgers?
I would like to
Okay.
interrupt real quick. I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, but you just lost to Jimmy Garoppolo 2 years in a row. It's time to pack your bags, big bro.
Okay.
Did he lose to Garoppolo?
Okay,
Or did
I'm
he
glad
lose
you
to
said
the
that, Joe,
defense?
because I was about to roast.
It's-
Garoppolo,
it-
so
it-
let's drop
I'm
that.
a
Garoppolo
Rodgers
defense.
fan. You lost to Jimmy G 2 years in a row. It's time to pack your bags. It's time to
Okay,
pack
AJ,
your
what do you
bags.
got for me?
So you told Derek that we're going to keep the receipt, you know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
So he says, the reason why he said he trusts Burrow. He said, I don't feel that Joe Burrow can be rattled. Why? I've seen him sack 9 times and still never lost his confidence as quarterback, which is true.
That's fair.
I'm not putting.
That's a good
Listen,
point. I like that.
If you're talking about confidence,
I like that.
How many players, honestly, how many quarterbacks? I'll talk about my quarterback. Dak ass gets sacked 4 or 5 times. You can see his confidence is gone when he gets behind here throwing it.
Don't get me started on Dak.
He did not. I'm not sold on him at all.
Thank
I've been talking about all your check the receipts. That's my new word too. He right here, he made a real confident. Like he does play very confident.
Goldfish.
That's why you can't count them out. That's what
More
I'm
Pesci,
saying.
more Pesci.
To me, it's like whatever offense gets you going first. Honestly, with this game, because it's gonna be a shootout, like you said, Joey. But I do believe, like he said, he's not rattled by that. I mean, to get sacked 9 times in a game, that's a record, right? Isn't that a record?
I'm not positive. But AJ, I agree with you and
Not a great
Derek.
one.
In regards to confidence, I'm not saying that I ever questions Burrow's confidence. I have no questions about that. But you want me to tell you about Matt Stafford's confidence? Derek, there's a video, if you could find it, of Matt Stafford's shoulder. He got hit, and it got knocked out of the socket. And he came back in the game and threw a touchdown pass to win
Man has
it
been living in Detroit.
in Detroit.
8 miles. Okay.
Matt Stafford wants to win just as much as Burrow. So I got no questions on either one of these quarterbacks' confidence. If it was Jimmy G going up
He's
against,
a bum.
I don't know,
New England Patriots.
Lamar Jackson, then I
fucking
could talk
knew it.
about confidence
Fucking
and
knew it.
struggling under pressure.
Okay, here it is. Matthew Stafford throws a winning pass with a shoulder
Out of the socket. He came back in and
The
threw a
pocket,
touchdown
The
pass.
socket, the ref.
He didn't hand the ball off for the touchdown.
Drop it, lock it.
He threw it with the shoulder out of the socket to win the game, mind you, to win the game. So,
against the Cleveland Browns.
We're
which
having a whole side conversation.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good.
We're trying to get to the conference.
The Stafford
Yes.
shit's fucking phenomenal.
so-
I'm taking Stafford all day.
All right, so
All day.
So
Not
let's
counting
pick
the
quarterbacks now.
okay,
So which quarterback are you taking?
Stafford.
You're taking Stafford. You're taking Stafford.
Yes.
AJ, you're taking who? Derek had a good point. I mean, you get sacked 9, 11
Biased.
times
I'm
and still
biased,
have
so I always like
confidence.
Stafford.
That shows the type of man you are and the type of leader you are.
I've been watching Matthew Stafford the past 15 seasons,
hmm
but I've never seen this type of quarterback, like beating quarterbacks the way he's beating them. Because it's literally, to me, it's not their defense. To me, it's not. It's their offense that's putting up the points. So I'm going with Burrow. I'm going with Burrow, bro. I'm going with the underdog.
What Matt
Time will
Stafford
tell.
did against Buccaneers in the last 30 seconds of that game.
What Joe Burrow did in the game, they got into the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I mean,
No, I know that, but it was the defense in the second half. It wasn't like Burrow was like carrying them.
I want to say that I got nothing but love for Burrow because of what he did to the Chiefs. So it's not that I don't like him. I really like Matthew
also, you
Stafford.
gotta remember Matthew Stafford. Oh, you just put it up there. Matthew Stafford is known for throwing interceptions, and he leads the league in pick six.
Okay. Time will tell. Time will tell.
We only know Sunday.
So the way that you three have described it is it's looking like all Rams. So then I can assume that
Absolutely.
you did pick Burrow.
And if they
As quarterback,
don't,
I pick Rams.
it's
Yes.
fixed.
I can't
all
see
day.
it.
All day. Because you know everybody's betting on Rams.
Like LeBron came back 3-1. Yeah, okay.
he said, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You fucking hear
okay.
this guy?
Oh,
I'm so mad you guys missed that shit.
Cleveland is so whatever, dude.
He said that if the Bengals win, then it's fixed. He goes, because LeBron down 3-1. Okay.
With nobody on his team. Oh, Kevin Love. Oh, Kyrie Irving. Ooh. Kyrie Irving has not played as much basketball as he's missed. Let's talk about it.
Yo, but let's not discredit. Listen. Let's not discredit Kyrie's finals, though. Let's not discredit. Wait. Let's not discredit Kyrie's finals. He averaged almost 40 in that fucking series. In the last 3 games, he had over 40. So let's not discredit.
Because it's
If
fixed.
it wasn't for the last game, they wouldn't have won.
So let's not discredit Kyrie's finals because he hit Golden State and Cleveland went ice cold. Nobody scored a bucket in 2 minutes. Kyrie came down, said, "Give me the fucking ball." Hit him with a whoop 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 whoop, spaghetti, and it was over.
I will say
over.
without a
It
doubt,
was over.
Kyrie Irving is definitely better than me at basketball. No doubts about it. There's no doubts. That's what I'm not. Don't come at me. I'm saying right now. Did he split cat or did he blick cat?
Yo, stop playing.
You forgot the first part.
What?
You forgot the first part.
What was the first verse?
Woo, 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 woo. Spaghetti.
What was it? Was it woo 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 or was it woo 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 woo?
All I'm saying, let's not discredit his finals run that year. Wasn't
Okay.
all just Bron.
Listen,
Boys,
you want to talk about just the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers? You want to talk about just finals runs? I'm looking at his whole body of work here.
if you're looking at
Joey's just looking at his body when he's woo 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 wooing.
who? Oh, he is. Yeah. So now that we're on basketball, we have made our decisions with the football.
So we're saying everybody here is in agreement that the Rams are going to win.
Yes.
Okay.
I am officially on record saying it as well.
We didn't even. Okay. Can we talk about?
Absolutely.
Can we just talk about
For everybody
real
gambling.
game changers? who's got the edge with the kickers?
Hold on. That's a great point. The special teams.
Let's talk about the kickers.
That's a great point, but I also want to say this. For the gamblers out there, because I forgot, I think it was Kendrick was the one who said, like, to do this. Who you guys taking if the Rams got -4.5?
Kicker.
AJ, who you taking? Rams -4.5. Are you still taking Rams? They're covering that spread, or you got Bengals losing by? So they're going to win by more than 4.5. 2 touchdowns. Who you got? He doesn't know spread. You don't know spread either. Okay.
I got Rams by a touchdown.
You got Rams by a touchdown.
Yeah, at least a touchdown. Listen, I see that happening more than mine, but
You know why, bro? Because what you just said 20 minutes ago. Cooper Kupp knows how to get over.
it's
That's
a fact.
the difference maker.
Rams are going to win.
Do you think they're going to win by 5 or more? Or you think it's going to be closer than that? That's what I'm asking you.
Come on, Gordology.
What does the study of Gordology say?
I definitely don't
What
think
does the Bible say?
I think the Rams
The Quran. What does the
will
Quran say?
win by more than a touchdown.
By more than a touchdown. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking a touchdown to field goal. Or an extra point.
If I had to bet,
Maybe 2 safety.
I want to think it's going to be a close game, but if I was throwing my money somewhere, I would put the Rams to cover that.
Throw your money towards
But
the
but
Rams.
honestly, mentally, I'm thinking of
towards
it.
the
I
Rams.
really think that it could be a 3-point game. But if I had to put my money somewhere,
Maybe they
I would
should.
rather
Maybe that's
put it
what
on
we
Matt
should talk
Stafford
about.
to cover that than Burrow
That's way
to
more
come within
impressive than a
4.5.
touchdown.
Although I do think it could be a 3-point game.
Anybody can get in the end zone when you're trying.
He's fucking killing me. I'm busy. I didn't fucking hear this. Oh my god, yo, that show is great. Yo, he kills me every time. He kills me every fucking time.
Before we get into this next thing, I need to. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
Woo 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 spaghetti. I don't know what this is.
Yo, your brother is fucking hilarious. Yo, we went to Florida for 5 days.
I wasn't
This
there.
is-
I was
this
not
was-
there.
this
I was
was-
not there. I wasn't there. I didn't go.
This is me the whole time. Fucking dying.
I didn't go.
No, he was on FaceTime.
I was not there.
You was on
Dominic
FaceTime.
John Fertushnik was not in Central Florida between the days of November 24th to November
Absolutely not.
27th,
Absolutely.
2021.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yo,
Absolutely.
put his
He was
whole-
located on Fort Bragg in
wasn't
North
there.
Carolina.
No, I wasn't there either.
Never mind, he was a Okay, that being said, boys.
You are fucking
Okay,
wild.
I can assure you that
Boys.
at this point, this is mostly water.
boys.
Somebody's
water,
kicking
water,
in
water.
Uncle Ray's door
Boys.
all day.
Can we get back to the sports?
My stomach hurts.
Okay.
Unless we're talking about cricket, I'm done with sports.
All right, I want to bring up a couple trades that have happened recently. The NBA trade deadline is on Thursday, so I do want to touch on it. That being said, Gordy, I'm going to start with you because you're our guest and you are going to have the Hershey squirts from that Tim Hortons. And I've seen you in person vomit it all out after drinking it. That being said, we only might have him for a short amount of time from now. CJ McCollum got traded to the Pelicans today. What do you make of that move? Yes, sir.
For nothing.
With Brandon Ingram?
Yes.
No.
They traded Josh Hart and a second-round pick.
I want to know, do you think
and,
that was...
and Alexander Nikhil Walker
Did they?
or Nikhil
Gordy.
names?
sure?
Mix them up.
Gordy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in a second rounder.
Who do you think won the trade, and do you think it's a long-term move, or do you think it was for them to make a run this season and possibly try to make
Who's trying
to
make
win a
this
first
season?
playoff round? I'm talking about the Pelicans.
Neither team is trying to make a run this season, in my opinion.
I don't mean a run to a championship. I'm saying a run to a playoff run in terms of making it out of the first round, winning a playoff series.
This season,
Yes.
neither of them.
I'm not. Gordy, look at me. Portland is selling their soul. They just cleared up $60 million in cap. I'm not talking about Portland.
Well, I don't.
I'm
think
talking about the Pelicans.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
No. So
I
you,
think
do you,
it's
so
a-
you think it was a
traded-
long-term move, and do you think that they won the trade, or did Portland?
Time will tell. So that's
Not even a fucking question.
Time will tell.
Okay, so here's my thing, right? Portland
Top 7
clearly
shooting
signed a
guard.
clear cap so that they can sign a big ticket free agent. Okay, because Damian Lillard, even though I think he's extremely loyal, is clearly getting frustrated with their lack of success in the playoffs, okay?
Yo, he said it. He ain't fucking going anywhere. He said that shit. He
And
said it
once
multiple
again,
times. He ain't going
I
nowhere.
am a huge
He said
fan
that shit all
of
the
Damian
time.
Lillard. Shout out Damian Lillard. But his numbers are getting worse, okay? So you take away C.J. McCollum, that's going to put all the attention on him. They did not get a guard that even comes close to his caliber of skill. So that means they think they're going to land somebody who's going to be able to take the attention, the offensive load at the guard position away from Damian Lillard, or they're going to try to build the offensive pieces from the 3 to the 4. Or the 3 to the 5, my bad.
So then, do you think that Pelicans won the trade, or are you just going to
Without a
stick with
doubt.
time will tell?
Without a doubt.
Okay, so Joey,
think the
what about
Pelicans won
you? Do you think it's a run this year to maybe win a round in the playoffs, or do you think it's long term? And who do you think won the trade?
So Pelicans are definitely shooting for second round. Absolutely. And the Pelicans definitely won that trade. But where does he fit in? Where does he?
McCollum?
Yeah, where does he really fit
Well,
in?
they traded
on the
away
offense?
Josh Hart.
But Josh Hart was coming off the bench,
And he's kind of like a 3.
and he's not. No,
He's a
Josh
2-3.
Hart-
He's a
Josh
2-3.
Hart's like 6'2".
No, he's talking about McCollum, right?
You
think Josh Hart
Hart's
is
like
a 2-3?
6'2".
I don't think
Josh,
he's like
No,
6'2".
Josh is
Josh
definitely a
Hart's
guard.
Like, he's like 6'2". I'm just like I just don't understand where he fits in.
Okay. AJ, what do you think about that move for the Pelicans, getting C.J. McCollum?
Strong move.
Strong move? You think that they have a...
Ingram definitely needed some help.
Mhm.
He needed some help, and I believe they're trying to. I don't know if he's going to leave or not. He's still out, right? Zion's still out, right?
He's not playing basketball.
No.
Playing basketball, like he's out right now.
He's a chunky monkey right now. Shout out Zion, I love you.
Yeah,
Watch you since high school. I think you're amazing.
No telling what he
Everybody has been.
I think it was a strong move for them.
Okay. So, staying with this...
Biter. Stop biting. Hop off it. Hop off it.
So-
Get off me.
So staying with the same team, because like I said, they cleared $60 million in cap. The other big move they made was Norman Powell to the Clippers. Who do you think won the trade, and what do you think about that for the Clippers? Is it long term, or is it them trying to make a run in the playoffs this year? And again, when I say
That
a
was
run,
a win.
Clippers suck. Wait. Let me interrupt you. Clippers suck.
I don't like any LA team right
Fifth best player in the league. Kawhi Leonard hasn't played all season. Paul George hasn't played in 2 months. We're 8th seed in the
Fifth.
West.
That's an interesting position. Fifth.
Kawhi. I mean, it's hard to tell because he's so like he's hurt. He's not. When he's not hurt, like they should have won last year, but they didn't. You know what I mean?
I
So
think the Trailblazers for sure won that because
they don't suck.
what
They don't
Norman
suck.
Powell's 27,
Clippers gang.
28.
Clippers fucking gang.
27, 28. So, I mean, he's still got probably another good 7 years of being a role player.
Who?
Norman Powell.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But he also gets paid, I think, between $7 and $11 million, right? So you got him, you got Reggie Jackson, you got all this cap, right? And all of your best players are aging, and they've been injured. So I don't see how Norman Powell is going to make the Clippers better. Then I believe it's going to limit them in the offseason to acquire players that they'll need. But
shout out to Jared. I appreciate the love, brother, always.
Time will tell, though. However, once again, the Trailblazers being able to clear his cap, and who else? Who else did they get rid of?
Who?
Robert Covington.
Yeah, he was getting paid too much as well. So clearing that cap, I think, is a great move from the Trailblazers. This is my thing, though. It's for nothing.
Yes, because Damian Lillard is going to be the point guard of the New York Knicks. We need you, Dame. Dame Dollar.
This is
You have Julius,
This is gonna be
RJ,
real
Killer Cam.
controversial.
Come to New
Russell
York.
Westbrook
Killer
on them.
Cam. Cam's averaging less than
He
7
hasn't
minutes a
been
game.
playing
Killer
because
Cam.
Tibbs is not letting him play.
One of my clients said Zion's going to hold out and going to play with his Duke boys in New York.
Zion.
Stop.
You were never even supposed to go to the Pelicans. You were supposed to be in New York the whole
Let's
time.
talk about that graphic of Zion, KD, and Kyrie Irving when we thought they were all coming to New York. Come on.
Zion playing with
Come on. Nothing would make me. Don't even get. Don't do that. Don't give me that
If
kind
Randall,
of hope. Julius Randle
if
will not
Randall
be a
got
Nick
a
next
right
year.
hand-
He will not be a Nick next year.
if Randall got a right hand and a right hand man
He might
as
even
a point
that
guard,
might even be the surprise
Dame
trade
Lillard.
of the deadline.
Dame Lillard. We need Dame Lillard.
It doesn't listen.
If
Even
we-
if we
if
get
the Knicks
Dame
got
Lillard,
Damian Lillard-
Julius Randle
Terrence Mann.
will not be a Knick next year. He's not going to be. If he doesn't get traded at the deadline, he will not be a Knick next year.
So what do you think? You think the Knicks are going to trade him?
If they can.
Randall's not leaving, bro.
I love you, Randall.
I love you.
I wish
too,
you had a
Randall.
right hand, but I
think,
do love
I think
He's like the
you've
same
gotten
thing like me.
so
is I just
much
don't have a
better.
left hand.
Leaving the Lakers was a great decision for you. I liked you on the Pelicans, but every statistical category he has gotten worse significantly.
Randall?
Yep.
Since last year, yes.
Every statistical category.
Playing with.
Who the fuck do the Knicks have?
No.
Kimba is a cancer to me.
listen,
Kimba
Kemba.
doesn't play.
No, that's not true. He listen.
Got back in the rotation? You're the one that told me he was out of the
The
rotation.
Knicks need John
Yes,
Wall.
he went back in.
Can we get
put him
John
back in?
Wall
They put him back
in
in.
New
John
York?
Wall hasn't played basketball.
John Wall.
That is, we really
D-Rose
do.
as well.
Because you want to know what it is we're close in a lot of
never
these games,
deserved D-Rose.
but we don't have
He
anybody
graced
finishing
the Garden.
because they're doubling Julius Randle. Granted, I want to say I will double back. You guys ready for this? I said RJ was trash.
RJ Barrett?
Yes,
I was on the RJ.
but hold on. Let me. I will admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong because RJ has been playing with a lot of confidence. Mind you, last night he shot 8 for 25. 8 for 25.
But you got to have games like that.
But
you got to have games
I like the confidence that he's shooting 25 shots when he knows who the best player on the team is. Is Julius
16
Randle.
for 20 today. Not playing. After yesterday, you're going to have a crazy night.
Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to name a team. I want you to tell me if they're buyers, sellers, or they're not going to make a move at the deadline. You guys ready for this? Joey, we'll start with you.
Sellers.
New York Knicks.
Sellers.
They're going to sell.
I
I
just don't. I don't know what they can do to bro. The Knicks can't get better. The Knicks can't get better. I think that they're gonna try and trade away Kimba, try to trade away Toppin and a pick, and bring some crazy shit in there.
Gordy came out. Mister!
Can you smell? But yeah, no, I'm saying that they're sellers. I don't think.
Okay,
they're
Gordy, New York Knicks. Buy, sell, nothing.
sell.
Who would you say that they would be trading away?
Julius Randle. Listen.
So you really think they're trying to shop Randle? Because I don't agree with that.
I really, really, genuinely believe that
Why?
because of the repertoire that he has with the coaching staff.
What did he say? What
If you watch
did he say?
his,
What did he say?
his sideline repertoire, his sideline
Fucking
behavior,
SAT words. I didn't go to college. Okay, I don't understand.
he's been a bad boy.
Oh,
He's been a bad boy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the coaching staff is getting fed up with him, and I think he's getting fed up with them. I feel as if though, rather than allow him to continue acting out and decreasing his value, they're going to try to get rid of him before people realize that he has. And I'm not saying he has an attitude problem, but he clearly is not happy in New York. Something, I don't think it's him. I just think that right now he's just not in a good situation. Something's going on with the coaching staff. I think he is not satisfied with the coaching staff. So rather
your
than
brother.
allowing those problems to seriously
Your
leak out
brother.
so that other teams can see it and undervalue him, they're going to try to sell him before it's known.
Do you want a rebuttal? 'Cause this is your team. This is your brother. That's your guy.
I like Julius.
So I think you should rebuttal.
AJ, do you think the Knicks are going to buy, sell, or they're not going to make a move at the trade deadline on Thursday?
No rebuttal.
I got no comment.
Bring somebody in, but they're not getting rid of Randall.
Okay.
You're getting rid of Kimba all day. Bum ass.
I think the problem with Kemba is the same problem that he had when Boston tried to shop him last year at the deadline. Nobody wants him.
Untradeable contract.
Nobody wants him.
Untradeable contract.
And you know what I will say? I'm not writing Kemba off on his character. I'm not. I'm not saying he's a cancer. I think that his plays declined, and I think that it shows his true talent because in Charlotte he was the guy, so he was taking a lot of shots. But now he
how
went to
long
Boston.
ago
And
was that?
well, hold on. Let me finish. When you go to Boston and you're the third option, there's not that volume. When you go to New York and you're the third option, there's not that volume. That's the difference. In Charlotte, he was always the number one. When did he have somebody where he was a number two? Even a number two.
What team you said he played for?
Charlotte.
Okay, but
Okay.
here's the thing. That's where Jeremy Grant is right now.
Okay, but look at Charlotte now.
You know what I'm saying?
They got
He's the number
LaMelo,
one.
Hayward,
Anybody that's the number one is going to
Tatum
have
and
better
Brown.
stats.
but that's what I'm saying is it shows his true talent, his ceiling. He was never going to be.
You're at the Knicks now. You're a true point guard. You can score as a shooting guard as well. How is it that you're at the Knicks and you're not showing up?
Because he's not the number one option there either.
You're not a third man no more.
He is. He's behind RJ. RJ's taking way more shots than him every game. It's been like that all season.
Okay, but wouldn't you think Kimba would be starting over RJ?
They play a different
RJ's
position.
2.
No, RJ's playing the 3.
He's playing the 3.
Kemba's playing the 1. Fournier's playing the 2. RJ's the 3. Randall's the 4. Robinson's the 5. Speaking of Robinson, I'm even going to Robinson. If the Knicks lose Robinson,
Oh, that's it.
I'm
can't lose
packing it up to like it's the Phil
Can't-
Jackson era
can't-
again because
can't
Robinson's
lose
been
him.
averaging.
You can't lose him.
He's been getting 20 boards
He's
like
amazing.
it's breakfast in the morning.
He's
Like, okay,
amazing.
just regular cereal.
Breakfast.
Shout out
Like it's
Mitchell Robinson.
breakfast. Okay,
Amazing.
let's move on.
What about yourself?
I think the Knicks are going to stay pat. I don't see us making a move at the deadline. A significant move. We might make a minor, technicality move, maybe some cap, whatever, but I don't see us making a big move.
But would you put the bread on it?
Losing are not really big
What?
losses.
But would you put the bread on it?
What I mean by that is the points is not huge away. Like y'all lose barely. Like the last 3 minutes of the game, y'all lose.
Yeah. And again, like you hit it on the head, AJ's. D Rose is a huge part of the team. We miss him insanely. For late games, D Rose is in the game. Even though he comes off the bench, he's in the game. Okay. So now sports is out of the way. I want to talk about.
You're only doing one team?
No, I just named 3 trades. What do you mean?
You just
What?
you said
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. I forgot. I was so focused on the trades that already happened.
I was gonna say, what the fuck
I
just
thought we were about
I'm
to
sorry.
say
just
every team in the
happened?
NBA.
I'm sorry. No. What was the 2 other teams I had?
We're going buying.
Oh,
selling.
Memphis. Do you see them trying to make a move to put them over the top, or do you see them staying pat?
Dude, their team's just so like chemistry wise, just so like together, bro. Like
think they
everybody
stay
on that
pat.
team like just loves each other. They're all having so much fun playing fucking basketball together, and you could tell that.
And they still have Dylan Brooks waiting when he gets healthy.
Yeah.
Dillian.
What's his name? Did he call him Dillian?
Anyway, Gordy, you say stay pat. You say stay pat. Do you see Memphis making a move to bring in another guy to make a championship run, or do you see them staying pat?
They need to stay. That chemistry is working good. I like the what's the guy, the tall guy with the afro on his team, not the one that next to John Morant. What's not John Morant? The other
Jared Jackson?
I don't think
His
it's
father
no.
played in the league too.
You talking about Jared Allen on the Cavs?
No, bro, he plays for Memphis.
Brandon Clark.
I'm gonna tell you right now. No, they don't need to make a move. I think the team is solid.
Okay.
Jared Jackson Jr. It's got to be Brandon Clark.
Okay, so going back to the East,
Going back to the East.
Philly,
Oh god.
Dilly, and Philly.
Ben Simmons has to get moved, and if he doesn't, then they're doomed. They're
So you think they're gonna have? Do you think they're gonna be able to move him before the deadline, or gonna have to wait till the offseason?
The only team that was really giving them a solid offer was the Kings, and they just traded away their offer to the
Pacers.
the Pacers. They traded away what's
Buddy
his name?
Hield.
They
Bonus.
Hield,
He left. He took the trade. Sabonis, he's gone.
He's a king now.
yeah, to the Kings.
Sacramento, they gave Tristan Thompson.
Yep, Tristan
And
Thompson,
Halliburton.
Buddy Hield,
Tyrese.
And Buddy Hield,
No, it was Tyrese.
Drew Holiday.
Halliburton.
Hield
What's his
James
name?
and
Halliburton,
Oh, I thought you said Alan Burton. I'm
No,
like, who the
no.
fuck is that?
Halliburton, Yield,
Tim Burton films.
Tim Burton. What do you say?
Jared Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so unpopular opinion. I like Ben Simmons, right? You can sit there. He disappeared in the playoffs.
Dog shit.
100%. Okay. They had him.
You
playing-
got some fucking nerve
I think.
How?
to talk
Hang on,
about
hang
dog
on.
shit because he shit the bed in the playoffs. But anytime any of the other people
No,
that
no,
you
no, no.
like shit
I
the
wasn't,
bed in the
I
playoffs,
wasn't talking about playoffs specifically. I think he's dog shit.
I think you throw him.
really,
Period.
that's bold. Yeah, that's bold. Holy shit,
Check the fucking receipts.
bold.
Ben Simmons can't shoot
There's-
fucking basketball. He can't put the ball in the fucking cup.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of great players that could not shoot the basketball.
Star who was not shooting the ball.
It's not even about bro. It's not even about shooting though. He don't put the
Andrew
ball in the
Wiggins is
cup.
an all-star.
He
with
don't put the
hoop
ball in the
stats.
cup.
Poopy caca stats.
And who is he competing against wing wise in the fucking
Hoop
West?
stats.
Come on, stop playing with me, bro.
Razor.
Terrible stats.
Stop playing with me. Ben Simmons is not as hype as everybody wants him to. No,
Congratulations,
he's a good
Andrew
defender.
Wiggins, because
He's a
you
great
handed
defender.
it all-star. Handed it.
Ben Simmons in a
Heartbeat.
in a heartbeat because
You know,
that's
got
all
enough
we need is
scorers.
a point guard who can facilitate.
I
That's
don't
all we've
got
needed for
enough
years.
Scorers. If y'all go trade for Ben Simmons, you're gonna have to get rid of your scorers. You got Barrett and Fournier after that because you don't have Kemba and Simmons together. And Simmons and Randall's not going to work. They're both going to clog the paint because Ben Simmons don't know how to play outside the paint.
Randall can shoot though. He gets a lot of buckets mid range.
Okay, I'll
His
give you
3-point
that.
percentage is down this year, but his mid range
Okay,
is still
I'll give you that. But that's if Ben Simmons isn't in the paint, it's just outside
okay. If
of
you're
it.
asking me if the Knicks can make a championship run with Ben Simmons, no, because like you said, Ben Simmons is a facilitator and a defender, so we need shooters. And honestly, the Knicks are like bottom half in the league in 3-point percentage. Actually, not bottom half, bottom 10 in the
I
league.
just
in
don't
3-point
know who
percentage.
trades
We got
for
no
him.
shooters. We lost Reggie Bullock, which was huge.
Yeah, where'd he
Really,
go?
Dallas. That's
Do
huge
we
for
still
us.
have
'cause-
Burks?
Yes, Burks is a good player, and he's good in the crunch time. But we need shooters. We're lacking shooting. That's known.
Do you think he gets moved before the deadline?
Simmons?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Chance.
Because I agree with you. I think the Kings were making the best offer, and Brooklyn already said they're not going to talk about any trades. And that was the other one. That was because Harden and Simmons. That would have been a fair move.
What is up with that? Why does Harden want to go to the Sixers?
He didn't say he wanted to go to the Sixers.
He said he wants to leave though. He's
James Harden?
yes. It's
not
because
satisfied
Not
with his
necessarily.
role?
he's not satisfied with his role and he's not happy with Kyrie Irving nor Kevin Durant. And he came out and said that, and that's a fact. Don't try and say that's not that you.
I would say
motherfucker.
outside of his turnovers per game, he's playing pretty good.
Well, he's playing good basketball, but is it meaningful basketball when they were first in the East in December and now they're 9th or 8th?
That's kind of tough.
It's not like Kyrie don't fucking play basketball, bro. He only
Doesn't.
plays.
He sits out.
He only plays half their games,
Home games.
if that.
Only home games, right?
No, he can't
Only road
play.
games.
He
Only
can't
road
play
games.
home
Okay,
games.
it's
Yeah,
only road games.
but there's certain road
and
games
he's
he can't
injured.
play either.
He's injured all the time.
So you're gonna get a piece of gum and not offer anybody any?
That was pretty grimy. I don't want one now. Not from you, at least. No, not from
Come on,
you,
bro.
at least.
I got gum in my pocket, but it's the principle.
Well, I'll take a piece where you at.
I'm just wait.
Folks, sorry about the gum break. I'm passing out gum.
I'm good.
It's the
I'm good,
principle.
thank you.
Come on.
I'm good, thank you.
All right, then
I'm
let me
drinking
get
coffee.
Gordology's piece. Come
I'm
on.
drinking
I don't feel
coffee.
like-
I'm drinking
Come on,
coffee.
that's good
Coffee,
gum.
coffee,
That's
coffee.
good gum. I got it.
Shake that in my ear.
Okay. Okay. So can we move on now?
Yeah. Yeah, I just had to.
All right.
You know me, I like to rant.
I know. I want to have enough time to go into this with Gordy because I feel like this is very important. Dominic, Gordy, the Gordologist, the study of Gordology.
Yep.
It's a Gordastrophe.
Some would say.
We, as you know,
So I'm
because I've told you, because you actually haven't watched the show, but I have informed you about what I'm about
I got
to
the
say.
receipts.
We talk about mental health every single week on the show. We like to bring on guests, and it's worked out that we have a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different scenarios that relate to the viewers. And we have another one with you because, as we said earlier in the show, you just got out of the Army.
News to me.
You were in there for 3 years, correct?
Almost.
Almost 3 years in the Army.
3 years, February 12th.
And if we're being honest, you went in as a child, and you came out as an adult.
I was 18 years old when I enlisted.
18 years old, fresh out of high school.
Yeah.
So
Fresh out.
I want to know
First day.
if you could tell us a little bit about how you coped during your time in the Army. And for the viewers who don't know, you did deploy. You went to Kuwait for a little while.
Supposed to go to Iraq. Didn't end up going.
So could you shed some light on, some things you did, some things you would recommend, some things you wouldn't recommend?
Well, here's the biggest thing that I don't think it's talked about enough. I was also airborne, which means I was jumping out of planes. And that was really cool.
And that was really cool.
I mean, here's the biggest thing, right? A lot of people, they look at people in the military and they think that somehow, some way we're different. But I would say the biggest difference between me and every other person is just I did it and you didn't. That's literally, like, in my personal opinion, anybody could do what I did. Anybody could join the military. Anybody could join the Army specifically. Anybody could go airborne. Well, not anybody could go airborne. Most people could do it. But they don't. Do you know what I mean? Or they do, and then when they get there, they quit. I had a lot of guys. I mean, so my first 2 weeks that I was, before I even got to basic training, when I was just in reception, we had 3 dudes try to kill themselves. So these guys had to be put on suicide watch, which there's 2 people watching them 24 hours a day. They're walking around with sneakers with no shoelaces. This is like before we even get to where we're going. So, you know, the biggest thing is, especially for me, I was born and raised here. I never really left Buffalo. I never really lived anywhere else.
You did get to go to Legoland as a child in California.
I did. Legoland, Disneyland, talk to me. But
He said, "Talk to
I got
me."
my Lego license.
Talk to me. He does have his Lego license. That's a
Lego
fact.
license.
That is a
Got
fact,
Legos
folks.
on it, I'm whipping it.
Yo.
So, you know, you got to think, you know, you're away from your family for the first time ever. You're with a bunch of strangers. And once you actually get to basic training, they're trying to break you down so they can rebuild you up. And one of the things for me that really, really helped was that I was good at my job. So by being good at my job, so what I learned is that there's a lot of things that you can't control. So if you focus on the things that you can control and you succeed within that avenue, it'll bring you that confidence and that joy that'll help you get through it. A lot of the way that I got through some of the more stressful situations was, now I want to just say a full disclaimer is that I am actively, like, I'm about to have my first appointment to talk to a counselor this month. So I am not the best person to ask about how to deal with these things and, like, the best coping mechanisms, because I am still currently coping with these things.
We're going to get into the, aftermath.
But for me, I separated myself from myself in a way. Like, when I was wearing my uniform, that's who I was. I wasn't Dominic. I wasn't Gordy. I wasn't the Gordologist. I wasn't conked. I was private.
Are you sure you still weren't conk?
I was not conked. I
You
had
did
no
have to
hair.
shave your hair. Yep. Yeah, folks, that is correct. He was not in fact
Wait. Do that nose again?
So you could do whoop, 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 but he could do
So, like,
What's my
especially,
noise?
you know, a lot of the situations,
We can't do it.
even if I, at the time, did not think that I could get through it, I knew that Private Fertuche could get through it. I'm a soldier, right? So what does that really mean? I didn't know, but I had this made-up perception of what I was supposed to be able to handle and what I was supposed to be able to do, and I just did it. It's like, you know, it may not be a great explanation, but even when I didn't think I could do it, in my mind, I had no option. So it was like, feel the fear and do it anyways. Like, even when you're not doing good, everybody's going through things. Everybody's going through things. So even when things were really, really rough and I was really, really down on myself, a lot of people were. So I could either be a part of the problem or I could pretend to be a part of the solution. And by making the people around you feel better, it could kind of give you a little bit of relief. You know what I'm saying? And then one of the biggest things for me was they keep you in a constant state of worry and stress because you never really know what's going on. People think the military is like super planned out and like day to day, you know exactly what's going on for the next 6 months out. I can say genuinely, most of the time I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know what the next hour was going to consist of. especially when I deployed, I had no idea when I was going home until I got back. And then as soon as I went back to work, I got another call. So that really kind of, just that not knowing and that constant stress of worrying about what is going to happen.
Well, speak on, like, to piggyback off of that, I know you've told me that it got so bad with the not knowing and the fact that any second you could be sent somewhere, that when your phone rings, you get anxiety. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So, and I appreciate you telling the people that, being honest and saying, I can't give you great advice because I'm still going through it currently.
Yeah, like, it's, the thing is that when you just, like, my best advice would be, don't you think a lot of things, right? But you don't know, right? So you might have this belief that people think things about you, or that if you go and you try to seek help in these departments that people are going to have an opinion of you. But if you're going through these things and you have these issues, every single other person that is telling you these things or that you might be worrying about, they're not experiencing what you're experiencing. So if they're not going to be able to make you happier, then why would you let them contribute to your unhappiness and to your self-consciousness? So I would say, like, that's my biggest thing, is that they would tell us, like, you can't go talk to somebody. Because if you talk to somebody, your career is over. You know what I'm saying? That'll completely, you're not going to go near guns, like, you're not going to get promoted, you're not going to be able to do your job. So they were just constantly telling us, you have to just internalize it and just ignore it, and you just got to put it back. And there was guys in my barracks that committed suicide. There was guys when I was overseas that committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? I know one of my close friends almost killed himself. You know what I'm saying? His wife found him with a gun in his mouth. Like, it's real stuff. And because they don't think that anybody cares, and they don't think that there's any way out, and I think it's 22 or 23 veterans kill themselves every single day. And what really, it's like, once again, like, anybody could be us, but these are some strong dudes, man. Like, they make you pretty hard. The people who get through and they're in there, they're pretty strong dudes. So the strongest people that I've ever personally met, you know what I'm saying? So for them to get to that point in their mind to where they're feeling that way, it's because, they're in a, like, you just can't even imagine what the mindset is. You know what I mean? Like,
so can you speak on the adjustment period from going in that mindset 24/7 to now trying to adapt and adjust to go back to a civilian life? Mind you, for your case specifically, you're going from, like I said, from a kid to who didn't have that many responsibilities going in. So now you came out and you're getting thrown. Life is thrown at you as an adult. How many times have we talked in the last few weeks since you've been back about car, job, this, that, a third? Because it's all getting thrown at you. So just speak on the adjustment you've had to make. How have you been handling it? What are you going to do to try to, cope with it better? And just speak on that, because I know that's a big change.
I would say the biggest thing that I'm doing right now is letting go. I'm not in the military anymore, and as far as I know, there's no chance that I could get called and I could ever go back. So you have to let yourself let go. You know what I'm saying? For anybody who has, like, anxiety or anything like that, the biggest thing is that how much of it is out of your control and how much of it are you doing to yourself? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a lot of perceptions about what people thought about me and, like, all of this, but that's just what it was. It was perceptions. It was not the reality. I had a skewed view of things, so I was putting a lot of anxiety on myself. I was forcing myself to feel a way because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Because in the military, they want you to be in that perpetual state of anxiety.
High pressure.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first got back, I was just forcing myself to stay in that mindset, but I'm no longer in that position. So I was reacting to things that most people, it would not bother them. And for me, it was like the end of the world.
So as time has been going on the last few weeks, has it gradually gotten a little bit better?
Without a doubt.
Because honestly, to be honest, I'm still, like, kind of adjusting to you being home.
A lot of
You know,
people
like
have
I'm
been
seeing you
saying
now,
that
and
to
I'm
me.
still in the back of my head, like, oh, I gotta enjoy this because in a couple of days he's flying back out. But you're
Yeah, I
here,
mean-
you're home.
I would say that after the first 2 weeks, it became real. Because usually when I would come home for 2 weeks, and then I'd go back. So once it started getting close to that 2 weeks, I'd start getting antsy again because I'm like, I got to get back. If something happens with my flight and I'm not there in time, God knows what they're going to do to me.
Yeah.
Article 15, they arrest me, who knows? They could freeze my bank account. I know guys where they've sent cops after them. They froze their bank accounts, all their assets frozen, from being gone for less than 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? So after those first 2 weeks, I realized you're out. You don't have to feel that way. You don't have to react that way because you're not in that position anymore. So I was not allowing myself to be responsible with my emotions and the way that I was feeling, and now I'm letting myself relax a little bit more. I'm still trying, I'm not there yet, but the biggest thing was you have to, it's for me, I don't really listen to a lot of people, but you're living in it, and when you're in the situation, it's almost impossible for you to see it from the outside. So letting people know how you feel and verbalizing these feelings sometimes, and for me it takes a lot, but just saying it out loud can sometimes make you realize that that's crazy. That's not really how it is. I thought this, but when I actually say it and somebody hears me, and then they try to reassure you, but you have to really be open to the idea that you don't know what's happening, that you're so engrossed in your own thoughts and your own mind that you're not really living in reality, and that everybody else who's looking at it from the outside, they know what's really going on, and sometimes you just got to trust them.
So how have you been with being open with people and talking about it? Because I know, as men, naturally, we tend not to, but especially in your case, because like you said, the way that they built you up after they broke you down in the Army, I don't know how your head is with opening up to certain people. Who are those people?
A big thing was like I said, in the Army, you are worth what you're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have so many responsibilities, inherently you're just supposed to have your finances set. You're supposed to have your emotions, your family, all of that is things that, normal people, that's the motivation of their everyday lives. As a soldier, none of those things can you really take into work because you have all these other responsibilities. All those things have to be good. Because if you can't do the job, you get replaced. They take you out of that position. They're not going to try to fix you and build you up. You're going to instead of doing your
disposable.
job, you're going to do you're
on to the next.
You're only worth what you can do.
So, Joe, how are you doing? Because you've been pretty quiet.
I'm just listening, bro. I really think this motherfucker needs his own goddamn show talking about just life, bro. I'm just fucking just listening, man. I don't know. It's just a whole different side of thinking about things. I don't really have a comment, bro. I was just listening to what you were saying, just trying to soak it all in.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is because everything here's the thing. I could get told, I could be in my in my barracks room. All right, this is what's happening today. I go into the elevator. By the time I get to the bottom of the elevator, that's changed. By the time I walk to the front door, that's changed. By the time I get up the hill and I get into the building, that's changed. By the time I get to work and we're halfway through it, that's changed. It's changed, it's changed, it's changed, it's changed. I'm used to living at 1,000 miles an hour.
Life is how you react to change.
Now I've gotten out, and that's not how life works anymore.
Yeah.
So
You're starting to slow down a little bit.
So much, yeah. I'm so used to being in a high-intensity situation that I'm creating myself stress.
I could see the difference off you from the last couple of days compared to when you and me had a serious talk a couple of weeks ago. I'm seeing some change, and it's refreshing because you're my little brother, and obviously you're my only brother by blood. So I care about you more than most people. So,
not me.
Look, he's just not me. No, but not to just jump, but I want to wrap it up soon, and I want to know. And I was telling my girlfriend, shout out my girlfriend, about when you came over the day and we talked, and I thought we had a real good talk. And we haven't had a talk.
Room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we chopped it up and had a real good talk. So I just want to know how you're doing.
I'm doing all right, man. I went to work today. Work looked really different from what it normally does because of what we talked about. And all I'm going to say is I noticed that work was different, but everybody else took notice that work was different today. So not to get too deep into it because I have a couple people that I work with that watch the show, so I don't want to spread my business like that. But my life's going to start changing real quickly here in the next couple of weeks. So I'm kind of on edge. I'm a little anxious as to what's next, what's going to happen. So I'm kind of just taking it, step by step, day by day. But mentally, I'm fucked, bro. My brain is, like, all over the place. Like, I got so much shit going on. I got, I got so much shit going on, I can't even get into what I got going on.
Yeah, but,
you know what I mean?
But you realize it. That's the first step. The second step is you lean on your people. I'm going to make sure you're good. So you make sure I'm good.
Yeah.
Gordy's obviously going to make sure we're all good. AJ, the tight circle that we keep.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm confident that we're going to be good.
This
but
land is your land.
Right.
Stress comes when you try to overexert yourself over what you already do. You can't control what you can't control. You can only control what you control.
Right.
Amen. Hallelujah. Gospel.
I knew it was coming. It was coming.
I want to, before I forget, because we're going to wrap it up now, I want to shout out my cousin.
Helen is listening, though.
Aunt Helen? Who said that? Oh.
Lena's got a Facebook?
No.
Oh, it's Aunt Helen? Oh, shout out to my Aunt Helen. I love you, Aunt Helen.
Hi, Aunt Helen.
We both love you. No, I know. I was thinking myself.
Lynn Booth.
No, I just want to shout out my cousin Sebastian. His song "Keep It Clear" was the song I put for the opening while it was blank screen. So shout out Sebastian from the Bronx doing his thing. We got love for you,
Bronx.
Sebastian, Jaylene's cousin Sebastian. That's like family.
Jaylene's cousin.
But he's like that's family. Sebastian's family, regardless.
You said it was his cousin.
So shout out Bash. Look him up on YouTube, Spotify. Bash, Keep It Clear. Up and comer, young boy. I love him.
Give him a little bit more.
We'll drop his description. We'll drop his link in the description.
Yeah, Joe, you got any closing remarks for the fans?
Man, just more Pesci, guys. Just more Pesci.
It's just more Pesci.
That's all I gotta say. Nah, for real though.
He was the one who started that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
More Pesci.
Nah, for real though. On a serious note, I got a close friend of mine. I'm not gonna say his name. But me and him, we go through the same type of struggles on a day-to-day basis due to the father that we had or the lack of or what happened to our fathers. So I know that around this time of year, after the holidays, people are still kind of soaking in everything in terms of, their loved ones that aren't here and not being home with their peoples. So if you have any struggles, if you're in the dumps, if you need to talk to anybody, reach out. Because that's what we're here for. We do this for you guys. We don't come up here and do it for ourselves. You know what I mean? We do this to try to make an impact in people's lives. So if you need something, you're our fans. You are a part of our family. So do not hesitate. Reach out to us if you need something. My boy, if you're watching, like I said, I'm not going to drop any names, but you know who you are. Reach out to me, my dude, for real.
That brings up a great point. If you know anybody who's in the military, send them a message. Call them. Let them know that you're thinking about them and that you care about them, because it's real easy, especially when you're not near your family, to assume and to think that you've forgotten about. So if you can, just send them a quick message and let them know you're thinking about them. It'll mean the world to them, I promise you. And if they're in training and you can't talk to them on the phone, send them a letter. Go get a stamp, send them a letter. Like it doesn't take long, and I promise you it means the world to them.
And shout out to Dion Dawkins, who I hit up on IG because I want him to come on the show. Dion, would love to have you, big fella. You a Buffalo Bill in the heart. Come on the show, chop it up with us. You have something to say?
Real quick. Yep. Last thing, free Bando. Free my guy.
So Gordy, thank you for coming on the show. I love you, brother. Always.
My dude.
Do you want to join in on our Swizz and Pesci to close it out, or you don't feel comfortable doing it?
I've never watched the end of an episode. So
Yep, so you are.
All right.
AJ, close us off as soon as we're done, okay? Ready? A 1, a 2, a schooly doodly doo. Swizz and Pesci, Pesci and Swizz.
And Gordology.
I knew that.